Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome to February. We're here. Thank goodness for that. It's a beautiful sunny day today and welcome spring. I know it's not technically spring until about March time, but my daughter yesterday wore a tutu and a swimsuit, so I'm taking the cues from her. Obviously, I'm still going out in a jacket and so is she. Welcome. Right. Let's talk about February. Let's talk about this month. And I did a post which I wanted to share with you as a video because I know so many of you prefer to listen to something or watch something rather than read something. I always felt like that when I had very small children. People would write these amazing, long-winded, informative blogs, and I just never get a chance to read them. But if somebody reads it to me, it's so much easier. So that's what I'm going to do. So I started the title of this of it's February, what we doing, what we saying. And I said it in that way rather than in a sort of serious, what are your goals? What are you working on this moment? How are you going to develop yourself? What will be your version of success? Which I guess would all be phrases that I would use, but I wouldn't necessarily use that voice. But I wanted to bring a bit of lightness into this. I think goal setting can be so heavy and so noble sometimes and can feel like, oh my goodness, I've really got to concentrate now. So the fact that I said, what we doing, what we saying, what's this month all about? Hopefully it'll bring that lightness and that encouragement that you can get going exactly where you are. So the first thing I want you to do, declare it and share it. And you can do this here underneath this video. You can direct message me, you can email me, hello@nickyraby.com, or you can put it in your journal or on a post-it note or in your notes app or anywhere you like. Just give it a go. So the reason I am so passionate about declaring and sharing it is because it makes it real. And so often things that we want to be, do, have and feel can feel really lofty. And they're things that we might say to a friend after a couple of glasses of wine, or things that we walk past in the street and go, oh, I quite fancy doing that. And they're very sort of heady. They're stuck there. And what we want to do is to get them out so we can look at them and see them and feel them and get going with them. So declaring and sharing makes it real. It makes it important. This I feel so passionately about, especially as somebody who does a lot of caring, a lot of parenting in life, that it can be really easy to kind of forget about you or to run out of steam or run out of time at the end of the day. And actually just having that moment of saying, do you know what? I've been thinking about this for a really long time. That to me shows that it's important. This is something that I care about. What would happen if a friend of mine or a child of mine or a parent of mine said, you know what, I really want to do this thing? You would take them seriously. You would take them saying it, them declaring and sharing it as something important, something that needed to be listened to and encouraged. So I just wanted to remind you that it's important to do that for yourself. It also makes it matter. It makes it kind of wiggle up further in your priority list. And I think it's so easy just to assume that we'll do that one day or when we get more sleep or put it on our bucket list and it just goes away in that sort of mental filing cabinet somewhere else. And yes, sometimes there is a better time for things. Sometimes you're like, I've literally not slept for a week and I've got 2 poorly children at home and I'm trying to do, I get all of that, absolutely. But please just bring it to the front of your mind. Please just give it 5 minutes, some time to think about it, because it keeps popping up to say hello. So that must mean it's important. Also, by declaring and sharing it, putting it somewhere you can see it, it keeps your eye on the ball, aka your goal. Another thing that I should have said is when you are declaring and sharing your goal, when you're thinking about it, I always encourage myself, my kids, or whoever I'm having a chat with, or a client, or when I do speaking chats, to go for the most ideal version, the 10 out of 10 version. I think so often we can shrink ourselves and play in the position of reality, or we automatically edit ourselves. We say we don't mind, or I'm not really sure. But I encourage you to spend some time really thinking about what the 10 out of 10 version is, because actually there's nothing worse than, I always feel like this when I go out for a meal, for example. I see going out for a meal as a real treat, and especially for a family of 4, especially in these times as well, you really want to have good food, good drinks, and a great experience. And I always find it so disappointing when you're presented with food and you just think, I could have cooked that better at home, or we could have had something different, or I just feel a bit, half-hearted about it. And so what we've started to do is do things less often, maybe, but things that we really love. So we're still meeting that goal, but maybe not as frequently. And then more frequently will come, as things progress. But really going out for that 10 out of 10 version, because there's nothing worse than, I guess, having that lukewarm feeling like, okay, my goal was to go out for more meals, but I went to this place and I didn't feel great afterwards, etc. Go for the disco ball version of your goal. So I'm going to share a couple of my goals. I'm not going to share business goals because I'm working on a bit of an experiment at the moment. I have got some income goals. I have got some podcast goals. I'm working on some projects with clients and things like that. So they're very front of mind. I've got some speaking stuff, some acting, lots of things are bubbling. So I'm not going to share too much because it's almost like watching a boiling pot. Like, what's happening? Is it happening? I just want to give my focus, but I will share some personal goals with you. So a few fun things that I've got on my list is to make a date with Matt. He's put it in the diary. We're going to go for some Chinese food, I think, which I'm really looking forward to. Number 2, make 3 new recipes. I am so bored of my own cooking. And I think my children are as well. But I made something a couple of weeks ago, this jasmine rice with lemongrass chicken that I kind of adapted from a Jamie Oliver book. And bizarrely, hooray, both of my children really liked it. Great. That's another thing in the what the heck am I going to cook for dinner tonight? So I'm going to go in my recipe books because I've got dozens and seek out some new recipes. But that will take time. That will take me standing on a chair, but I really want to do that this month. Number 3, sort out the garden. We have now lived in this house a year, and I have a bit of a sense now of how we're going to use the space, what happens at different times of year. I've been watching it closely. So this weekend, or this month rather, I'm going to sort it out. I'm going to do some leaves. Yeah. That's on my list. I'm laughing at this because I've been saying it for yonks. Print out some photos and put them up. If you came into my home, you would have no idea who lived here because there are no photos of anyone anywhere. And I've got so many beautiful pictures and they're on my computer or they're on my phone. So I'm going to print them out. Order a takeaway pizza. Honestly, my 7-year-old is obsessed by this. And we live very central to loads of restaurants and cafes and supermarkets and things like that. Like there's an M&S, there's a Waitrose, there's a Sainsbury's 10 minutes away. Like everything is really, really central. And so I never and maybe this is being a tight mummy, but I just think, well, we can just buy it and then put it in our own oven. But that's something he wants to do. So order a takeaway pizza that comes to our door. Run in a different part of London. I've actually booked this already. So I'm going to be doing another strong women's running event. So I'm looking forward to that. Have some time with friends. Goes without saying. Complete my February experiment, which I'll share more later. Have some fun half-term activities because now my kids are definitely at an age where they're like, what are we doing today? So I need to get on with that, figure some stuff out and make some plans. And finally, eat well, sleep well, and move. 10,000 steps, regularly moving, getting loads of greens, fruit, veg, good stuff, etc. So that's it for today's session. If you want to find out more, if you want to book a Declare and Share session with me, go to nickyraby.com/declare and share. And let's do this. Bye.